Good morning. Welcome to Autry Tech's sophomore virtual tour year 2020. My name is Steve Bayless, and I'd like to send you over to a video that introduces and shows you about what the Power Products program has to offer for you. Watch the video now. Hello, welcome to Autry Tech and the Power Products program. My name is Steve Bayless. I've been teaching here since 1993. What is Power Products? Power Products is a study of several different pieces of equipment, starting with small engines. That would include a push mower, a chainsaw, a string trimmer, a pump, a generator, working up to riding lawn mowers and other equipment used in the lawn and garden industry. It also includes motorcycles and ATVs, dirt bikes, street bikes, four-wheelers, and side-by-sides. We also do an introduction to marine. Marine includes personal watercraft and small outboard engines. In the Power Products program, we focus on a multitude of tasks. We start very basic: how to use tools, service manuals, and how to operate the equipment. We actually have a Honda simulator that students can learn how to ride a motorcycle. Next, a first-year student progresses through basic tasks like how to change a tire, how to replace brake pads or shoes, working on suspension, culminating the year with an engine overhaul. Myself and Bo are testing the continuity of a kill switch. We've hooked up test leads. In the off position, we have an open lead. When we switch it to on, the meter shows we have continuity. Therefore, the switch is working correctly. A second-year student gets a little more complex. We spend a whole 9 weeks on fuel systems, including carburation and fuel injection. The second 9 weeks we spend on electronics, troubleshooting and analysis. The third 9 weeks we try to set up an actual job-type atmosphere where students come in and do jobs every day. Sometimes those products are from the outside world, sometimes they're projects that I create here at the school. Ultimately, the fourth 9 week student in his second year can go to work. We call that supervised work experience, and the student reports to a job every day instead of coming to school, which in turn could lead to a career opportunity. Career opportunities in the power sports industry could include working in a local shop, like Zolodec Marine here in Enid, Oklahoma, Rainbow Sports, our local Yamaha, Honda, Kawasaki dealer, or P&K Equipment, our local John Deere dealership. Most of the time, my students start out around $9 to $12 an hour at those locations. Other careers could include working at a golf course, City of Enid, Vance Air Force Base, construction firms. Some of my students also choose the armed services as a career choice and go on to college to develop things that they learned here into higher learning. Okay, now that you've watched our video on introduction to Power Products and what we do here, specifically, I'm going to show you a video now of me changing a tire and demonstrating that for my students. So now watch video number 2, ATV tire service. Thank you for joining us here at Autry Technology Center. I'm going to demonstrate how to change a ATV tire using hand tools. You always want to start with safety. Guard your eyes with eye protection. You want to deflate the tire, so remove the cap and remove the core. You never know what might be inside the tire, so it might come out at you and get in your eyes and not be pleasant. Once you remove the cap and core, you always want to protect those by putting them somewhere where you're not going to step on them and destroy them. Next, you want to break the bead of the tire away from the rim. We're going to use a Coates 220 machine to do this. Some safeguards you want to use is don't let the rim slip down away from the bead breaker, and keep my foot nice and close to the rim so I don't damage the sidewall of the tire. So you should be able to press that down relatively easy. Turn the wheel over. Again, hook the rim up on the foot so it doesn't slide away. Keep the breaker bar nice and close, pushing the bead away from the tire. Next, I want to peel the rim or the tire off of the rim. I want to be very conscious to peel the tire off the short side of the rim. So if you look here, the short side is very close here. Over here, it's quite a ways. So this is our short side. That's the direction we're going to come on and off. I want to use a tire tool that I feel is acceptable. Short, long, whatever you like is okay. I would keep away from using screwdrivers though. Step one, you want to push the bead of the tire down in the valley, what I call the valley, but in this recessed area in the center of the rim. Then take one of your tire tools, reach in and grab, and simply peel the tire up and over the side of the rim. Take your next tire tool, and where you want to go is what I call the window. There's an area right here where you can stick the tire tool. Right there, the tire is touching the rim. Right there is touching the rim. Right there is what I call the window. So I can go in there and grab that. It's a small bite, so I'm not going to damage the tire in any way, shape, or form. Next, go into the window again, which in turn frees up this middle tool, and I just keep working my way around accordingly, swapping out that middle tool until I get to a place where I feel I can just pull it off by hand. Okay, once I get one side off, I take again my tire tool, use this little foot right here and reach in, grab a piece of the rim, take and peel it over, take my rubber hammer, and I want to be very accurate with my hits, not hit here, not hit here, simply right there on the bead. The rim just pops out easily. Okay, you would want to inspect our tire, inspect our rim. A lot of cleanup is involved here, but going back together with my repaired tire or a new tire, I would want to take my lube, adequately lubricate the bead of the tire. Then I'm going to take my rim and support it in such a way that it's not going to scoot away from me. I'm going to put it on this rug here so it doesn't go away. But you can now see the shallow side and the wide side of the rim very clearly. I want to work on and off on the shallow side of the rim. So I take the first part of my tire, and the key here is I'm going to poke this bead part of the tire in the shallow part of the rim. Once I do that, the other side just simply goes over. Okay? Again, using that same logic, I want to push this part of the bead down in the valley, and then I'm going to simply use my tire tools to work the rest of my bead into place. Again, small bites. I'm using my knee to keep this from facing on one side, using my hand and thumb on the other side, and I just simply roll the tire into place. Once I get over center, many times I can just push it on by hand. Okay, at this point I want to reinflate the tire. It's generally easier to do this with the core out. I can get more air into the tire quicker that way. But what I'm trying to do is seat both beads. During this process, again, I want to be very conscious of my eye safety, but also my upper torso and face in general. If the tire were to burst, it's typically going to burst this way, sideways, so I place my body and head and my face in the middle of the tire so I don't get struck with anything that may pop off of there. I'm going to install my chuck. There's one bead, there's the other bead. I've got both beads to pop into place. I can now come back with my core. Reinstall the core. Inflate the tire. To the proper setting. Finish off by putting the cap on. Job finished. Thank you for joining us here at Autry for ATV tire, hand tool, tire replacement. Hey, hopefully you enjoyed those videos. That is actually where we're at with our first year students right now. So right now in my program, my first year student, Chance, is demonstrating that exact task that I just showed you, ATV tire service. So you can see him using those hand tools that I showed him how to do. He's got his safety glasses on, which is great. And he practices this technique. So frequently the way we operate here is I talk about, lecture, show videos on tire service, then I demonstrate, then students practice until they feel competent, and then we have a hands-on test. Can you actually deliver and do the task? At the same token, right now, we have Carson over here, and he's using a tire machine to do a motorcycle tire. And then finally, we have Eddie and Robert. They're learning and demonstrating tire repair. What we're doing right now, my second year guys are learning about electrical service, specifically wiring. And so we learned about connections, both soldering and making a hard connection. And so right now we've got Gunnar and Kyle. Gunnar is setting up here to solder a connection. This is a technique that we learned earlier today. And they took a piece of wire, soldered it together, and turned it in as a loop for a grade. Kyle's got his test loop there where he practiced until he felt confident. And now Gunnar is going to solder a connection here just for practice. Well done, Gunnar. Very good job. Thank you for joining us here at Autry today.